Welcome back. We're going to look at part 2 of power rule. Recall that if we can get a function to have this kind of format, specifically ax to the n, where a is a real number, n is a real number as well, there are 2 steps to taking the first derivative using power rule. So as a reminder, from last time we had ax to the n as the general format. When you take your first derivative, you multiply a coefficient in power, so that's a times n. That will be your new coefficient. Take 1 away from your power. So this is the formula. If you have a function with terms of this form, then power rule, a times n is your new coefficient, n minus 1 is your new power. So let's look below at some examples. Our first example, we have 2x to the 7th plus 3x minus 1. Taking it one term at a time, 2 times 7 is 14. X to the 7 minus 1, that's 6. Move to your second term. 3 times an unwritten 1 is 3. 1 minus 1 is 0, so there's no more x. Negative 1 is a constant, so its derivative is 0. The first derivative gives you the rate of change of the original function at any value of x. No matter how long or short your function is, as long as your terms have the a x to the n format, then you can apply power rule. Negative 3 times 5, that's negative 15. 5 minus 1 is 4. If you're missing a coefficient, don't hesitate to put it in. It's not required, but you can absolutely do it. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. Take 1 off your power, that makes it x squared. And in our last term, 2x, that's 2x to the first. The 1 is optional, you don't have to write it. 2 times 1 is 2. Take 1 off your power, there's no more x. Also, as a reminder, if your function is made up of a constant or it's just simply equal to a number, the first derivative will be 0 every time. Constant functions have no rate of change. They actually have 0 rate of change, but they're horizontal lines. If your function has mx plus b format, m is your slope, b is your y-intercept. The slope serves as the rate of change, and because a line is straight and has a constant rate of change, that slope is a constant rate of change, and that's all your derivative is measuring, is rate of change. No matter what the value of x is, it's always going to change at a rate of negative 3. Now, sometimes we're going to run into functions that don't have the ax to the n build, and that's okay. We're going to learn to adjust for that. Let's recall a few properties from algebra that will help us apply the power rule of derivatives to functions that don't look like they qualify. Our first one, power will switch signs when it crosses a fraction bar. If you have a fraction with a variable term and you cross this fraction bar, it's a legal move, but your power has to change sign. How do we apply that to derivatives? Let's look at this example. F of x is equal to 1 over x cubed. Well, now this doesn't have the ax to the n format unless we can move this x up. We can, we just have to make sure we change the sign of the power. This 1's going to stay where it's at. When we move the denominator up, it becomes x to the negative 3. Now this has the ax to the n format. So when we take our derivative using power rule, 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. Careful here, taking 1 off your power, negative 3 minus 1, that's negative 4. This derivative is totally appropriate. If you wanted to move your variable back to the denominator, that's fine as well. Just remember the sign of the power has to change anytime you cross a fraction bar. In our next example, it's very similar. We have negative 2 over x to the fourth. If this were negative 2x to the fourth, then it would be in the proper format and we could just directly apply a power rule. But it's not. We need to move this up. It's okay to move it up as long as your 4 changes sign. Negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8. Take 1 off your power, negative 5. And then the same as the previous example, it is fine if you leave it this way. If you want to move your x back to the denominator, sorry, my pen slipped, you can move it to the denominator, but that power has to change sign anytime you cross the fraction bar. In this next example, we have y equals 2 over 5x cubed. In the first video, we did some problems where we would have a fraction multiplied times a variable, but that variable was in the numerator. It was up here by the 2 instead of down here by the 5. I'm going to leave the 2/5 alone and only move x cubed up. Now when I do that, the 3 has to change signs because it's the only thing that crossed the fraction bar when I moved it. This function excuse me, can be written as 2x to the negative 3, because I crossed the fraction bar, over 5. Now I can separate and have 2/5 x to the negative 3. These are equivalent. All I've done is applied the power property in algebra. So I crossed the fraction bar, the 3 became negative. Now using power rule, 2/5 times negative 3, that's negative 6/5. Negative 3 minus 1, that's negative 4. This answer is totally appropriate. Like on the examples above, if you want to move this x term back to the denominator, that's fine. You can put it down here with the 5, but the 4 has to go back to being positive if you do that. In the next example, we have h of x equals 1 over 2x quantity cubed. So that 3 applies to the 2x all the way. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use the exponent property. If you multiply 3 2x's together, 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. X times x is x cubed. So this denominator is also 8x cubed. And like the previous example, I'm going to leave the 8 where it's at, but I'm going to move x cubed up. That will make it x to the negative 3. 1/8 times negative 3, and here's where the power rule comes in. That's negative 3/8. Take 1 off your power. That makes it negative 4. This answer is totally fine. If you want to move this down with the 8, feel free to do that. But your exponent or power is going to go from negative 4 to positive 4 if you do that. A second property of algebra that can be used to make a function look like it's in the ax to the n format is when you have a root, like a square root or a cube root. Any root can be translated to a fraction or rational power. If you take a term that looks like this, where you have some root of an algebraic term to some power, You can write that as x to the m over n. Remember, like with plants, roots are on the bottom. In our first example, we have f of x equals 4 times the square root of x. I'm going to leave the 4 alone. It's not under a radical. What I do want to modify is square root has an unwritten 2 for an index, and this x underneath has an unwritten 1 for a power. Translating that, that's how I get this 1/2 power. Now it's in the ax to the n format, and I can apply a power rule. The first derivative, 4 times 1/2, that's 2. 1/2 minus 1, that's -1/2. This answer is totally fine. If you want to change this to a +1/2, you'll have to move your x term to the denominator. If you really want to flex, you can convert this back to square root of x. Any of these three are fine with me. Let's check out a second example. -2 times the cube root of x to the 4th. The -2, I'm going to recopy it. Cube root, remember roots are on bottom. So this is going to be x to the 4/3. And now I have ax to the n format. Taking the first derivative using power rule, -2 times 4/3, that's -8/3. 4/3 minus 1, which is 3/3. See, that's still 1. That's where I'm getting the 1/3. That doesn't really look good. Let me try to make, whoops. There we go. Now it looks like a 1/3. There we go. So -2 times 4/3, that's -8/3. 4/3 minus 1. 1 can be written as 3/3, or just use your calculator. It's fine. You get an x to the 1/3. If you want to change this back to cube root of x, feel free to do that. It's just fancy at that point. If you do it, you don't have to. In our next example, we're going to apply both properties. At this point, we're ready. Let me make sure that's where, there we go. H of x equals 4 over square root of x. Square root of x is x to the 1/2. 4 over x to the 1/2. Now we can cross the fraction bar. Okay, so picking up, I had a little incident here at the house. I had to pause this. 4 over square root of x, that's 4 over x to the 1/2. 4 times -1/2 is -2. -1/2 minus 1 is -1.5, better known as -3/2. Optional if you carry this to the denominator. I do warn you, if you do, the power becomes positive. And again, as earlier, if you really want to flex, you can change x to the 3/2 back into the square root of x cubed. Square root of x cubed. And then our last example, 2 over cube root of x to the 4th. We can rewrite this as x to the 4/3. Move it to the numerator beside the 2. The 4/3 goes negative. 2 times -4/3 is -8/3. -4/3 minus 1, that's -7/3. There we go. And then the rest is history. If you want to move this to the denominator, go ahead, move it down with the 3, but make sure your power changes sign. And then if you really want to flex, that's cube root of x to the 7th power. That's really just icing on the cake. I hope this video helps you out. These are what we do in class. I'm just trying to voice over them a little bit. Let me know. Reach out by email, phone, or text. Well, not really text. Swing by the office hours, and I will do my best to help you out.